welcome to the Oral Health Podcast. It's Karen and Sophie. We're here talking about sleep and snoring and how that impacts your mouth, because it is Snoring Awareness Week this week. So, Karen, you know quite a bit about snoring. I know we talk about it in the office, mostly moaning about it, but do you want to just kick us off? What causes you to snore?
I mean, when you're asleep, everything in your mouth relaxes. So the roof of your mouth, your tongue, your throat, the soft palate, all sort of relax, and they kind of block the throat to a degree. Obviously not enough to suffocate you, but, you know, enough that the way that they are when you're awake, because obviously you don't snore when you're awake breathing. So what happens is that all vibrates then as you're breathing and causes the sound that you get. Now, there's lots of different types of snoring, you know, ranging from could wake the dead snoring to, you know, minor rumblings or even a clicking sound. There's lots of different ways and varying degrees of annoyance as well. So, you know, at some points in our lives, I think all of us will snore. You know, when you, as I say, the airflow goes through, and it's trying to get through, obviously, for you to breathe, and it's this kind of rattling, kind of fast vibration that's what we hear. The more forceful the airflow in, the more noise is going to be. So if it's sort of a heavy breath, the noise will be, sometimes it will wake the snorer up, which is, you know, that's a good snore when it's woken you.
Definitely. Well, who then's more likely to have an issue with snoring?
So when we look at the percentages of people who snore, obviously, as we probably could all guess, 40% of men snore.
Shocking.
We couldn't have written that, could we? 24% of women, which is probably higher than we possibly thought, but anyway, and 10% of children actually snore. And I think it depends, you know, if you're a mouth breather or, you know, you're breathing through your nose. Most of us at some point during the night will breathe through our mouths because it's just a natural way you sort of roll over and your mouth opens. So, you know, those are the percentages, but some people, the shape of their mouth makes them more predisposed. So if you've got a very narrow airway or a low soft palate, so that's the bit that behind where you can feel the bone on the roof of your mouth, the bit behind is soft, and that's your soft palate. If you've got uvula, the dangly bit at the back, that's quite large, or you've got quite large tonsils, all of that is shrinking your airway, and all of that has the potential to cause snoring. So if you sleep on your back, everything tends to fall. So that's when you give the nudge and roll to the side, and it tends to stop it. The more overweight somebody is, the more tissue that they have in the mouth, so the more the airway is blocked. If you've got a cold and you've got a blocked nose, obviously you're going to have to mouth breathe, so that will cause it. Alcohol, tobacco, they will cause it as well. So if you've had a couple of glasses of sherry of an evening, you may find that you snore then. But yes, as I say, it can be debilitating because of the broken sleep. You know, if you sleep with a snorer, earplugs are always quite good. And as I say, the elbow in the ribs, if not.
Might not always be welcome, but it might work.
No, may not. But, you know, it is a serious problem, and, you know, there's not belittling it or anything like that. So, you know, it might be certain times in your life, pregnancy, because you are, I mean, you're not really lying on your back when you're pregnant because it's really uncomfortable. So you're more on your side, but for some reason, pregnant women tend to snore more. And it can be hereditary. So there is a degree of, if you come from a family of snorers, you're probably going to snore yourself. You know, there are other knock-on problems as well, because if you are a snorer, as we've said before, you're normally a mouth breather. Now, mouth breathers dry up the saliva in their mouths, so you're going to have a dry mouth, which can lead on to bad breath. So, you've got a bit of a double edge here, because not only are you not getting a completely restful night's sleep, you're probably going to get bad breath as well. I know it's all doom and gloom, isn't it, really? But there are things that you can do. I mean, you can speak to your dentist about it. There are appliances that he could make for you to just try and open everything up so that the airflow can just get to the lungs without going past all of these obstacles, if you like. Try and have a nice supported pillow so you're slightly, I won't say sitting up, but slightly raised, and try and sleep on your side. That will help to stop it. There are nasal strips that you can use. I think they probably have limited effect, but I've certainly tried them and I can breathe better, but apparently it doesn't stop my snoring. Even going to an extreme of having an operation on the soft palate to try and lift it out of the way. I certainly know somebody who's married to an extreme snorer, and one of the stipulations before they got married was that he had that operation.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
That was discussed.
Yes. So that was a stipulation, because it was so affecting so much, both of them, that, what do you do? I mean, obviously that's an extreme case, but you have to look at, the degree of problems that it's going to cause. And just being aware that there are things that you can do. There are things that you can do to help yourself, and there are things that your dental professional can help you with as well. So, excuse me, and not all is doom and gloom. We can stop it, and when. It's very easy for me to say, oh, you snore, and kind of trivialise it, but it's not like that for somebody who does snore or somebody that shares a bed with a snorer. It's not trivial. So it is important to be aware of the causes and try and overcome them.
Mm-hmm. And as well, you talk to your doctor, because if you are a snorer, you have a really heavy snoring, because it can, like you get into like sleep apnea territory, right?
Yes.
Where it's causing you to stop breathing when you're asleep. And then there's apparatuses you can get that they like jet air into you, and then that's got to, at that point, the dry mouth from the air in the mouth and it's the lowest of the issues at that point. But if it's a real chronic problem, always go to a doctor, because you never know.
Yeah, you might need a referral to ENT, because as we said before, if you can't breathe through your nose, there might be an underlying issue why you can't breathe through your nose. And if you go and see an ENT specialist, they may be able to say, right, there is a problem with your nasal passages, and do something for you. There are nasal sprays that are available as well. So if you do find that your nose is quite blocked, going to bed, having a nasal spray before you go to bed may open that up and, stop you from snoring. I suppose it depends whether you snore when you're in deep sleep or when you're sort of in lighter sleep. I'm not sure what the percentages of, snoring heavily when you're in the REM stage, or whether it's when you're in a deep sleep. I'm not sure of the difference, really.
Yeah, I imagine if it wakes you up, you probably aren't getting to your deep sleep levels very much.
I would agree. Yeah,
but like when you said about alcohol intake and snoring, maybe that is because it's going to put you in a deeper sleep, so you're snoring more. But it's all speculation. We don't know. But it's at that point, it doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but it's not necessarily what we would look at, right? Of like, when are we snoring at night? It's just more like, when you are snoring, this is what you can do to help your mouth out.
Yeah, indeed. So if you do wake up in the morning and you've got a very dry mouth, there are products that you can buy over the counter, mouthwashes, gels, toothpastes, rinses, all sorts of things that you can use to moisten your mouth in the morning. If you wake up in the night and you've got a very dry mouth, have some water beside the bed and, try and moisten your mouth like that. It will make it easier for you to go back to sleep as well if your mouth isn't that dry, if your mouth is feeling more comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I think that covers everything that we can discuss on that. I'll put a little bit more information, as I always do, in the description of the podcast. But just to sum up what we've learned is snoring affects mostly men, which I think we all sort of knew anyway. It can be caused from a range of things such as blocked noses, alcohol intake before you go to bed, to a smaller airway if you've got larger tonsils or a uvula, or even if you've got more tissue around the mouth and throat, it can cause the airway to get smaller. And if you're noticing you're a big snorer, or someone else has told you that you're a big snorer, then speak to a dentist and a doctor just to see if there isn't something that they can do to help you. So yeah, we'll be back next time talking about something different. But as always, Karen, it is lovely to sit and talk to you.
And you.